Welcome, beautiful people. Happy Monday. Welcome to the RFD Talk. Beautiful, happy people. I'm so excited to have you here tonight. Tonight, we're having a great show, and I cannot wait to tell you more about the topic. The CEO Hustle is here tonight. So if you're a business owner and you're driving and you're at home, you want to grab your notebook and get ready to get some great information today that you can apply to your amazing business in 2022. We have some great information coming up. So it's the hidden secret that we're going to be talking about in just a moment. But before we talk to the CEO Hustle, we're going to talk to, before we start our topic, let me slow down and introduce myself. I am Robinfdavid. I'm your host, executive producer of the RFD Talk. I am a healing consultant. I am an Amazon best-selling author and self-published author. And my mission is to bring simple understanding to complicated situations, taking the hard work out of self-love and self-care, helping you create healthier, stronger relationships with yourself and personal development, spiritual development, and business growth. Today, we're going to be talking about something that I'm extremely excited about, and it's about leaving a legacy in your name. Are you ready to leave your business as a legacy? Are you ready to share your gifts and talents more than just with just a couple people, but you want to be global? Are you ready to extend your territory? So tonight you want to get ready, get your notes, get your pads, have your questions, call in today here to the WVOL station so we can answer some of your questions, and we look forward to talking to you today. Before we get started, I definitely want to thank our sponsors, and one of our sponsors, we want to thank our sponsors, and one of our sponsors is ginandjuice.net. Definitely, if you're looking for a fitness structure and all the things you need for it coming with food and nutrition, you definitely want to seek out ginandjuice.net, bodied in gin, detox in gin, and you also want to check out Shave Me Down handmade body butter. You can find Shave Me Down handmade body butter on Facebook, or you can email Shave Me Down at shavemedown06. Next sponsor is Majestic Elegance Candles and Company. Definitely want to go to the website. It's called livemajestic.com. Definitely check out those sponsors. We want to thank them for being a part of the RFD show. And we also have our favorite segment, What Did RFD Say? I am unity. Unity is our word tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And one of the things I said to myself, I was like sitting and I was pondering, and I said, what is the word tonight? I said, I got to tell our listeners, because last week our word was impeccable. If you remember, last week I was talking about a book called Impeccable Listening. And now this week, I was like, we're ending the month, excuse me. We already ended the year. We're starting a new year, and we're ending the month of January, which this month I named January is Jubilee January. If you remember at the beginning of the first segment of January, I called it Jubilee January. And so one of the things I've heard in my spirit was unity. Unity is such a powerful word. And when I looked up the word unity, the unity, it actually means the collaborations of many people, different diversity of people, and the collectivity of the power of unity, the body of Christ. And if you use any type of we word and we help each other, the more you will get togetherness and purpose and manifestations. I noticed that when you collab and work with the right people and you have the right people with the like-minded situations in your life, the unity creates harmony, peace, and unity is our word today. So you want to use that this week. In your example for unity would be something like if people were getting together to pray, that would be for unity for the same cause. And one of the things I like to say here at the WVOL show, the word unity goes out to all of the great hosts here on the WVOL show, which is you definitely want to check out some of our shows, and which some of our shows will be I Have a Testimony, and that is with Miss Charlesetta Hall. You want to check her out. Then you also have our show, which is called We Battle, and that's with Jeremiah on Fridays. And then we also have Miss Judy. Hey, Pastor Judy. She is on every Monday. Then we also have some other shows that you want to check out here. So please go to our website. I know we have a testimony. I have a testimony. We have Hey Miss Judy. We have We Battle, and we also have the Lance J Show. So you definitely want to check out our website, which is our website is www.wvol1470.net. So check out our website. I like to say that we here at the WVL show, we have a great unity. So that is our word today. Now, for no further ado, yay! Are you ready, everyone? Worldwide, global, friends and family all over the world. Yes, I also wanted to say unity reminds me of football, but unity really reminds me of the family here at WVOL. So basically, back to are we ready? Let's get this drum going because I don't want to hold you all up no more. I know what you came for tonight. One of our top guests is now in the green room. Takisha is now about to reveal to you all what it means to be tell us what it means to be a CEO hustle.
Oh my gosh. Hey girl, how are you doing?
Oh, hello, beautiful. Thank you for coming and joining us tonight. And we look forward to you revealing with us tonight what 22 has in store for us business people
Gosh,
all over the world. For our
it's crazy, but for me right now, I'm really just thinking about like I saw something that you had posted that was talking about legacy, and it's about building a legacy, and it's about kind of like coming outside of yourself and making sure that you put the things in place that are going to end up in a legacy. So, for example, I was talking, earlier, and I was talking about like purpose, and that purpose is this roadmap to your destiny. But I was also talking about how many people really know what their purpose is actually living out their purpose. So I was talking about like 70% of the people out there have no idea what their purpose is. Like, as I ask people, and I've asked people over years about that, it's usually around 70% of the people have no idea. And so them not knowing, that means they have no real roadmap to life, to destiny and where they're going. And so then 20% of the people out there have an inkling, kind of know what they're supposed to be doing, but circumstances and situations happen that stop them from moving forward. And so they use excuses and reasons why they're not going to be able to do it. So can you imagine that Robin, that there's 90% of the people out there, 90% of the world is not in the game of purpose and moving in their unique call that's on their life. So every action, well, there's this thing that's out there that says every action deserves or another, it brings another reaction to it or something. And so you're acting out, you're living your life, and there is no purpose or connection or anything around it, or put to it. So that, if you were to think about that, the same thing goes for business. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have purpose to your business, know what you're doing, know the reason why you're doing it. If you're just doing it to be doing it, then at the end of life, you're going to have all these regrets. You're going to regret that you spent all that time focused in on something that never produced anything, that when you die, it's going to end up dying along with you, that there's no substance to it or whatever. That's the 90% of the people who have no purpose out there. When you connect it to business, if you don't have a purpose and understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, then aren't you wasting your time? You are wasting your time in business when you could be out there with your family, out there, whatever. If you're not going to commit to understanding the purpose and the reason why you're there and then moving forward.
Wow, I love what you went right into, alluring to purpose and passion, because I definitely do agree with you. I believe I hear a lot of times people are working long-term jobs and so unhappy, and
Mm-hmm.
then they say, I don't know, how do you know your purpose? And so that, I feel like, is a struggle for way over half of people that we know are in dead end jobs, feeling very heavy about it. And even if they do have a business, they don't even know if this is the business that they would like to wake up every day and do it effortlessly.
That's exactly right. They have no idea. They're out there, and I'm not saying that I knew that I was going to do, I think I knew I was going to do business. I just didn't know what that channel was going to happen. But let me tell you this, like, God was always
I apologize. We're having some internet challenges right now. I'm not sure on which end it is, so hold tight with us, everyone. I don't know if it's us with an internet challenge or is it the guest in her studio with the internet challenge. So we're
okay.
waiting.
I'm back here.
Okay, can you hear us
Okay.
now?
So
Okay, I do.
I can hear you. Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Yes. Okay, so I was just basically saying that whenever you're working through what you're figuring out what you're going to be doing, that it would be really sad to kind of like go through life having, these side hustles and these things that you're doing, and you're spending all this time doing it. You're not really enjoying life because you have a full-time job and then another full-time job when you come home, and then nothing to show for it in the end. And so one of the things that's my passion, Robin, and it's like, I remember when we had our conversation recently, my passion is that we create sound businesses that will outlast us. That it's not just a one person show, but
Mhm.
that you start to build capacity by bringing on people and partners and things like that, and you start to kind of like to really push that part of it, so that at any moment you can step away and not feel like you have to be right, like you have to be there. You have to kind of like build that capacity in your business.
Wow. So where do you think some of the business owners today who may be on as listeners, if they're working a job and have a business, where would you tell them to start to really get to that commitment and making sure that it is their purpose and passion? What one or two nuggets would you, how would you answer that question for
You
them?
know, no one can tell you what your purpose is, but you can look at things to see what you're good at, what you're naturally good at. So I know that I'm not a seamstress. Okay, my mom was one, but I I am not one or whatever. I know that there's some things that inherently I'm not going to go out and do. You know what I'm saying? I can't, that's just not who I am. So you definitely have to do some soul searching and figure out what is something that you inherently love to do, or it's very easy for you to do as well. Like, business has always been easy for me. And I remember when I felt like I was called into ministry, and I was going back to school, and I really thought that God was going to probably send me to seminary school. That is where I thought He was going to send me, and He did not. He said, "Go and get your master's in business." Okay, so I got my master's in project management. I'm completely surprised, even to this day, that that's the direction He wanted me to be in. But He wanted me to be in the marketplace. So he wanted me to spread and to share my faith values and my values, my character, the things that are near and dear to my heart and near and dear to him as well. That's how he wanted me to minister. And
Wow.
so, like, here I go. I'm, on the on here with you. That is kind of like inherently what he wanted me to do. But I had to get there, but I had to listen to him and listen to the things. And let me tell you something. The world out there, the people that you're in front of, let me tell you something. If you are not legitimate, if you are not like if you're just doing something for the money, I'm telling you, the street knows it. Do you hear me? That the street, I mean, the way that you can tell is because people know when you're not legitimate, and when there's something that you're speaking, I don't know what it is, but they know. And they will start to say, something's not right there. Something's not right there. Especially if it's you deciding to do something for money
Wow.
and not
Yeah,
your
I
passion.
have to I have to chime in on that. I thought I was called to the ministry as well. It's
Mhm.
so interesting that you said that, because God was like, "No, I called you to the marketplace, and your
Yes.
faith will go into the marketplace." As
Mhm.
I went to I went to beauty college,
Mhm. Mhm.
but I looked
I
at
didn't know
what.
that. Okay.
Yeah, that's got beauty college. And so once when you have interacted with thousands of people, you have kind of like got your PhD. And that's what
Yes.
they say. Well, like if after so much networking, and I'm just saying that's where. And I remember my first lady. I just have to say to you, I remember going to my first lady when I was in Ohio, Sister Charlotte, minister at Apostle Charlotte McGuire. At the
Mhm.
time, I was in Ohio, and my first lady was my nail technician, and I was so excited. I was in my 30s, and I was like, I'm going to go to one of the best Bible colleges, and
Yes.
I want to be this Joyce Meyer someday, and
Yes.
I was just dreamed to do that, right? And so. And she was like, "But Robin, the Holy Spirit can teach you. You don't have." She said, "There is like man way of approval, and then God can teach you. He's your ultimate teacher." And I was like,
Mhm.
okay. And so I just definitely got this, like, God was like, no, because I could be minding my business doing nails or teaching classes, because I also taught uh, continuing education in
Uh-huh.
the beauty industry. So I've taught a lot of classes, and then I would always get people would stay after my class, or I would do somebody's nails. They would get a
Mhm.
shot of spiritual encouragement from me, and they would be like, "Robin, would you pray for me? I know that you have faith." And I was like, I didn't even really bring up Jesus Christ or any
Mhm.
name, whatever name you
Oh,
like to
they
use.
know. They know.
And the people would literally say, "I would like to, I know that you love God, Robert. I know that you believe in God." And they were like, "Could you just pray for me?" And I literally was like, that's when I heard him say, "I need you in the marketplace." In the
Yeah.
marketplace is a little different than on the platform of certain church places and, buildings and at your church. Now, I do volunteer and love my church and my
Mhm.
church members, and I do like to interact. But as an evangelist type, I'm more so in the marketplace where people are able to reach me in my gifts and in my purpose and
Mhm.
in my passion. And I'm always praying or encouraging someone. So I get that. So for some people, you have to realize your ministry could be also your marketplace. And
Yeah.
you can take your business and your faith and use it all on purpose. What are some of the things that you help people get real crystal clear?
Mm.
Is there a nugget that get, because I remember how I got crystal clear, and you said something, you already did mention that if you would sit down and look at what you have already inherently have.
Mhm. I love, okay, so I am a personality profile queen here. Okay, so I do the assessments on all of the people that I hire. I want to know who they are, what inherently they are, because I do believe that by knowing that, you can like link them to positions and jobs and things like that. And sometimes you can put someone in the wrong job, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I used to used to be the Christian education director at my church, and when I did that, we did this thing called spiritual gifts class, and I would actually, teach people, and they would then take this spiritual gifts test to kind of find out what their spiritual gifts were. So we did that, and then I would also do on the mainstream side of that is a oh gosh, it's like a disc profile, like the DISC profile assessment, and then also the Myers-Briggs. And I love it's called. I go to 16. You can go to 16personalities.com and do a test that will tell you tell you your personality. By understanding your personality and understanding your gifts, you can take those things and start to kind of like build a case for where God is trying. I mean, of course, it's not completely resolute completely. There are going to be some things in it that you're just like, that's not me. But most of the time, if you just answer it not with what you think you want, but just who you really are, you come up with some really good, you come up with at least a somewhat of a blueprint of kind of like what you're good at. So you could be good at speaking or good at writing or good at, creating, being a creative person or whatever. So it kind of like at least gets you in the ballpark. I mean, I feel like it brings in now, it takes away all of the fluff that's out there, and it brings you in here to a place where you're able to then see, okay, well, I went to school for this, and it's starting to make sense why I like doing this or whatever, and it at least gets you into the ballpark place of kind of understanding a little bit more about yourself. Like, I know that I'm an INTJ. I also know that on the disc profile, I'm a DC. And a D is a dominant personality, like leader. Hey, that's me. The
Yeah.
C is analytical, and if I were able to take that DC, and then if I took the Myers-Briggs, which my Myers-Briggs is an INTJ. Okay, okay, it says that I'm an engineer and things like that. That's how my mind works. Well, that's a DC. That's a whatever. So taking these two tests tells me that. Now, if I were to then take the spiritual gifts test, I know that I'm a leader. Prophetically, I know I'm a leader of God's inheritance. I mean, in that scripture from Saul, or Saul the king, when we said you're the leader of God's inheritance, when God, brought him and said that you are in the, I'm trying to think of who it was, but anyway, when he was brought into the kingdom to be the first king, the prophet said, "You are the leader of God's inheritance," and I know that word has always come to me. So here I am, a leader among women, training women, and have a business that's GirlFriday, that's fake that focuses on that. So you can see how my personality profile and my spiritual gifts test, and bringing that all together. Okay, here's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I agree. I think those tests are great, right? I have to just share with our listeners. Definitely check out those resources to finding out, to get tapped into your purpose and your passion, so that it can make sense to be the real CEO hustle that you want
Yes,
to do. And
yes,
I just want to add to your greatness, and I appreciate those websites you mentioned. I hope our listeners heard that. Now, I just want to share to you again. I'm saying my birthday coming up on Wednesday, so I might be telling my age a little bit, because back when I was in my early 30s, when I heard the calling on my life, and I was all bubbly, and I remember
yes.
this lady said, "Do you really understand what a calling is, Robin?" At the time, I was like, she said, "Do you understand what that means, young lady?" And I laughed. So basically, I'm like, "No, because I'm gonna be serving. I'm gonna be serving the Lord." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Lady, what are you talking about?" But I went somewhere, and I really don't. I told my children and other people, I don't even remember the name of the meeting I had with this lady. It was at a center. And at the time, you all, I was learning how to do a computer. It was a beginner computer class. This is back in the,
Mhm.
I'm telling my age again because I said it's coming up on Wednesday. Oh, the mighty I want to say 45, guys. I'm holding it at 45, but I'll be 54. So
Oh my gosh, you are so amazing and beautiful.
thank you, love.
54. Oh my
And I
goodness.
have to get used to saying the word out loud. So 54, because it's just like I just came to the golden 50. So anyway, let me share with you all. There was no link into all these great websites that you just shared with our lovely guests here all over the world. But I had a lady who had a conversation with me, and she sent me home, and she said, your assignment, Robin, and at the time, she said, your assignment is to write down your jobs that you had experience in. And I took my, at that time, I was early in my 30s. I had
Mhm.
maybe a few jobs. And she said, put down the things that you like about each of these
Yes.
jobs.
Mhm.
And when I put down the things that I liked about the jobs, I was like, OMG, this is so me, 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 me. And I was like, and at
Yes.
the time before, I used to always, in my easy conversation, I would always say the Lord said. It was just one of those things that I am definitely now um, ready to take it back because someone stole it from me. But it was just one of the, when I mean stole it from me, made me doubt my confidence of saying it all the time. It was just a regular way I spoke with people. I'd be like, and the Lord said, and the Lord said. And she also said, do you notice that you always say the Lord said, Robin? And I was like, no, I didn't notice I was saying that. And she was like, well, you will help people hear what the people will pay you to hear what the Lord said. And I was just bubbly, young, zilfo in the spirit. And it was just my conversation. But one of my girlfriends says to me, well, Robin, why do you always say that the Lord said? And I was like, because he said it.
Yes.
At the time I wasn't, able to do like just fight in my spirit the way I wanted to. Then she made me question that. So what I want to tell people is don't let anybody question your greatness. And at the time, and it just came back to me after having a consultation last week, that is a t-shirt for me that the Lord said, because when you follow your passion, it opens so many doors for your purpose.
Mhm.
That's what the Lord said.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at people's life like yours, and you're excelling and showing people how um, to upscale their business and leave
Mhm.
a legacy and also be in purpose. That's, and you said you were led to minister in the marketplace, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And so you're following those unctions, what the Lord has showed you. And that's where you will see in other people's life. You don't have to hustle so hard. You'll be following those easy things that you enjoy. And it's not like it's hard for you to
It's
get up and
already
do it.
in you. It's
Yeah.
not hard at all. Yes, there are going to be circumstances and situations that come up in your life that are going to be hard. But in the grand scheme of things, what keeps you there and not walking away is because you love it. You know what I'm saying? You love what you're doing in it. And so, yes, Girl Friday, we'll be 4 years in the next couple of weeks. It is not easy at all. It has its challenges. Sometimes I am like, sometimes because, I am human. I have my moments where I in despair. I'm like, Lord, what's going on here, or whatever. But then on the flip side of it is that I love what I do. And in the hard moments, in the hard times, I'm okay because I'm not going anywhere. Like, this is a part of my call. Now, I can see myself in a few years. I told my team, I'm like, okay, get it while you got it. Like, go ahead and get everything you need from me, because at some point I'm going to be whisked away into something else. Like, I do a lot of speaking and stuff like that, and I want to keep that creative side going. And so, and I think it is already happening. Like, I'm doing podcasts and speaking engagements and, different things or whatever. And I'm seeking to do those things now. And some of it will be business, some of it will be ministry, but they all feel like they all kind of come in together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Into what you're supposed to be doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have to check out those websites that you said to talk, just to learn. I'm always a person of, I'm always about self improvement, learning more about
Yeah.
myself and finding out things about myself, even as I have evolved and grown. And I think those websites are great to for myself as well and our guests to check those out and find out where you are. And I think that's the important part about business. You should always have a time when you check with yourself and check
Yeah.
in and see an inventory. Is this the place you want to be? Looking at the growth of your business and how you're feeling about this business. And so, what other things would you like to share with our listeners today as we prepare them for the big reveal?
So remember I was saying about the 70% of the people that are out there have no idea what they're have no idea of their purpose. And then we have the 20% that has an inkling, but they have excuses. They have a reason why they're not out there doing it. Well, kind of like now that there's what's left out there is 10%. And so of those 10%, 7% of those people that are out there, they know it. They're out there blazing the trail. They are doing it, the 7%. But sometimes you need strategy. Sometimes you need help in figuring out what are the next steps and what are the next steps and what are the next steps. Like recently, like I have a mentor, and I remember when I first started my business, like he hired my business to do some work for him, which was amazing. And then like he invited me into this circle where he was having some meetings. And it was like training like small businesses or whatever. And I joined and I was like, yeah, you don't have to ask me, okay, whatever. But what I got out of it was, I was doing business not in the most healthy way. Like I was doing business, but I didn't have any, back in the day, I did everything custom. So if you came to me and you wanted to do something, I would get the information, I would leave you, go home and try to find like write out my proposal and then send you over what my proposal was. And that was just so unhealthy in a business. To every time you talk to someone, you walk away without not having a sale. First of all, you walk away not having the like by the time you leave,
Mhm.
they've like the excitement of the sale is gone, and you're coming back to them with this big thing. So by going into this mentorship, I learned and was trained how to create packages and things like that people would buy. So whenever I had a meeting with someone, I had somewhere to go with something like, here is what we do and how we do it, and here's the packages, and what do you want to buy? But at first that wasn't what I was doing. So it was crazy business.
Mhm.
But I learned a lot from being in that mentorship. Um, he's pretty much a coach, you know what I'm saying? But he was not charging us anything.
Mhm.
So being with a coach, learning strategy in business is so important. So the other day I get a text message from him, and lo and behold, he's like, hey, I'm going to have these meetings on Saturdays at 8 something in the morning. And I'm going to be doing this. And, I'm inviting you to come. And, the first thing I said was, yes, I will be there. I will be there because I know how much I learned the first time that I was in his sessions, like how much I grew as a business owner. Um, so the 7% think that there's a ceiling. There's still some kind of ceiling. There's still something that they can't get to. And it's not that they can't get to it. They just have to invest in themselves, get a coach, get someone who's strategic, someone to help them. Like Robin, you're a coach. Like if you're wanting to do this or do that, you need to for sure be in a place where you can absolutely do that. So I think that somebody had a question.
Yes, we do have a question. Thank you for the question, Sheba. We appreciate your question tonight. Go right ahead. Can you see the question?
Okay, let me see. Should all authors join mentorship and business classes before starting their business? I don't know that you have to do it before you start, but I do believe and understand that I probably wouldn't have hit my head so long if I would have had this guy to begin with. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
like
do.
I went in thinking like I know all this stuff or whatever. You know, you go in and yes, I am a business person. I have led businesses for other people, but when you start your own business, it comes with its own challenges, its own problems, its whatever. So I think that it's always good. You can't be the smartest person in the room. You can absolutely not be the smartest person in the room. So going and getting someone to help you and getting a coach, getting a mentor, getting whatever. I have two mentors. My first one, I told you he called me and said, "Hey, are you gonna? I want you to come to this." And I was like, "I'm coming." My second one, me and you, Robin, know him. That's Terrence. Like Terrence is like one of my confidants. And so
Yes.
whenever I'm starting something new or I'm branching out into something else, you best believe that I'm calling him and getting into a meeting with him and saying, what does this how does this look? How does this sound? Am I crazy? Because you know what? He'll whenever I'm off, he will sit, he will sit there, Robin, and be like, ask me these questions like, what are you talking? Like he will, I'd be on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have someone that doesn't care if they talk back to you and question you and be like, no, honey, that sounds kind of off. I need some more information. If you can't answer these questions right here, like no.
Yes, I agree with you. I started with coaching, yes, and it's good to have like two or three coaches that you really entrust. Because once you start with a good coach, you normally like to continue until you get to the level that you might end up
Yes,
with another coach. Just because sometimes I always say the student shows up when the teacher shows up when the student is ready.
exactly.
That's what I always say for me, and I agree with you. I definitely try to do some things on my own, but when I think of unity, how much more strength and more power is in unity when you have someone who can kind of say, that idea, you might need to rethink it, or you should maybe
Yes.
offer it like this. Also, I agree with you again. I feel like in business, sometimes you really don't want to just spend a lot of time in. Some people go out and I remember I took a business class, y'all, because I took a lot of business classes.
Yeah.
I took this one business class with a coach. She did an affordable class back home, and she said that we have an idea. This man had he wanted trucks, but then he didn't do the numbers. He didn't, so he had the money to buy the truck. So sometimes we will spin our wheels backwards without that coach. Like the man, she's like, so what the name of that program I took tons of years ago was like, plan your business. Business plans are important, or something like that.
Mhm.
Because and then at the first I was like, I don't know why I didn't need no business plan. But when she started showing me the
Mhm.
numbers, and the man who did, he had the money and bought all his trucks, and he was, his trucks was bought, but then he didn't have the money to put the supplies in the truck
Mhm.
because he didn't have a plan. And I always remember her, a great mentor that I had the opportunity to be in her class years ago. And I just got, I don't know, like you, when classes are affordable, free. And that's what I was thinking about today. Sometimes I don't think some people realize when you get some free nuggets, those
Mhm.
are really good things to
Oh
harness
yes.
in on, because you're talking to a six-figure income business developer yourself, and you know what it takes to create a
Mhm.
solid foundation. And you also, I love that you talk about the capacity, the
Yes.
capacity. And I had to learn that word from one of my mentors, because I was like, what is capacity? What is the capacity? And I'm like, I got to get the capacity. And really, I know it sounds really like dunce, but I started to ponder on that word, the capacity. You
Mhm.
have to be prepared and set up. We ask for a lot, but we're not always in the capacity to receive it. It's almost like if you order something from Amazon, and it just don't come to your door because you're not prepared to receive it. It seemed like, oh, my neighbor ended up getting my thing, but you were not ready in the capacity to receive. So it kind of, you
It's
know,
so amazing you're saying this because, like, in my Bible study over the past couple of days, when I'm studying every day, it's like lately, the past 3 or 4 days have been, and I've been reading different things, and each one of them was talking about that. It was talking about like capacity. Now, they didn't say the word capacity, but it was basically saying, are you ready for what you're asking for? Like you've been praying, I feel the presence of the Lord. You've been praying, you've been seeking, you've been asking, and God is, but are you ready to receive that which you've been asking for? And how are you ready for that? Have you moved the things out of the way to prepare space for this new thing? And I had to like I was like, okay, like um I wrote down the things that I wanted to talk to my team about. Like I have a leadership team, it's three of us. And I was like, okay, on Wednesday, we're about to go in there, because I know that God was saying, okay, so you're asking for a $500,000 business now and $1 million business. And how would you grow that? How would you do it? How would it work? And if I gave it to you today, would you be able to receive what you've been praying for? And I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? And it was like, okay, these are like 4 or 5 things that we have to get ourselves ready for in order to receive and in order to get what we've been praying for and what we have put in the atmosphere. We have put a mandate on we put a mandate out there that we're going to be here. We're going to do this thing right here. And we're like, okay, but when it comes, what are you going to do? And so, but that just was just, I mean, I'm literally the past 3 or 4 days, the things that I've been reading has been asking me the same question, that same question. And I'm like, okay, now it's time to lead my team to go to where we're trying to get to. And the only way to do that is to create the infrastructure for that. Why ask God? Why sit there and believe it and do nothing to position yourself to receive the blessing? If you believe him and trust him and know what he's saying, then you're going to have to build the capacity for it, because there's nothing worse than the blessing coming and you can't even handle the blessing. Like you can't even like do anything with it. You lose a part of the blessing because you don't have the hands and the feet and the arms and the whatever to receive it. Sometimes it's just you getting into position for it. And so that's what my business is doing this first quarter is we're going to dig deep. There's something that I did this year, and I haven't done it in a while, but I used to do it. It's called a SWOT analysis. It's SWOT, where you look at your strengths, where you look at your weaknesses, where you look at your opportunities, the things that are out there that could be opportunities for you, and you look at your threats. What are the threats that you have in your business? And so you look at all of those things and come up with a holistic view of your business and what you're doing and making sure that you have the things that you need. Sheba said, rather than what will make you. Yes, that's exactly right, Sheba. Yes, exactly right. And we're saying and that's hard. Let me just say, it's not easy to look at yourself and see the good, bad, and the ugly. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to do that. And not only do we not want to do that, we don't want to hire someone to do that for us. Okay. Or whatever. But when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired of being in the same spot, when you said, okay, I can't be the smartest person in the room. Someone is going to have to show me something so I don't keep hitting my head on the same wall as I'm trying to figure it out. You get to that point and you're like, like one of my friends said to me, like she's working in business, and she said, I refuse to spend all this time and energy on on something that's not going to produce. That's something that's a side hustle that I can go somewhere else. Like if I'm going to do all of this that I'm doing, if I'm going to really do it, then I need to go ahead and do it legitimately, do it right, and be focused at it.
Yes, that's definitely the truth. Because I say, get your soundboards prepared. Who you need to work with, and
Hmm.
we are that's leading us to what we're going to be doing here on the WVL show. And hello, beautiful. She's another great person here on the show, and that's Monique. Hello, Monique. We love you. Good evening.
Hi, Monique.
Yes, she's another great host here on Wednesday. I want to say Monique. I think it's like Chat It Up or something like that. It's a cute name. Check her out here at the
Okay,
WBOL.
awesome.
It is cute. It is. Um, well, let's because we're getting closer to that moment where we're down to time where we definitely want to give our listeners what they came for
Yes.
today. And you have shared a lot of one. Okay, let's chop it up. Yes, girl, I
All
love it.
right
Yes,
now.
sister friend. You know, let's chop it up. So we got to tune in on Wednesdays to WVOL again, so you can listen to Let's Chop It Up. Yes, thank you, sister. Now we are super excited because I talked about unity. We talked about capacity. We talked about purpose and we talked about purpose and passion, and we talked about hustling
Mhm.
backwards. But today, with no further ado, Takisha will be my co-host. Yay!
Yay!
You'll be
I'm
my
super
co-host
excited.
here. Yeah, she's going to be a co-host here at the mighty WVOL 147. And we're so excited to have
So
her join
excited.
aboard with us. She'll be bringing all her greatness when she's available to come here. We're hoping we'll have her here because she's such a gorgeous guest. I can't wait to have her right next to me. And
Yes.
she'll be leading some great information on our topic for 2022. We were led and we know that we
Hmm.
are over, we are done with 2019, we're done with 2020,
I'm
and we're
saying.
done doing it the way we used to do it.
Yes.
And what is the name of our segments? Go ahead and tell our guests more.
Yes, it's going to be my CEO hustle. Like, it is yours. This is your hustle. This is not everybody is the same. Not everything that we do is the same. And we're just going to talk about like I'm excited because every month I'm going to come on and talk through business strategy, business things, business topics. So you flood Robin with all the different things that you want us to talk about. We'll be taking that as well as kind of bringing some liveliness to it as well. But I'm super excited because again, I what I loved was that your passion and my passion connected in a way that's brought this this important, I would say, opportunity to talk about business and get people not from just talking but into a place of really going and shooting for all the purpose that's inside of you and the destiny that's inside of you and creating something that's going to last. You know what I'm saying? So that whenever you go, it lives beyond you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm super
Yes, I
excited about that.
do. I'm super excited because you had just said beyond. And that's what I would like for our
Yeah.
listeners to know. We're bringing real information that can transform your life. If you're open, you got to be open to growth and evolving in your business. So if you're open, join us every first Monday of the
Every
month.
first
We talk,
Monday.
and I'm very passionate about business because I've been in business for so long, and I've
Hmm.
also understand that it's important to collaborate in business and support one another in business. And so I am excited. So what I was thinking about our listeners, I love you guys every week. I come here intentionally to have an amazing trailblazers and trendsetters. Let me slow down. Trailblazers and innovators
Yes.
And those great people who I bring on here for you all. I want you to come every Monday ready to learn, but not only to learn and listen and hang out with us, but we definitely want you to apply the information. That's what I got in my spirit tonight. You know, there's a wealth of information on the super informational highway. Like
Yes.
before, I had to do everything, like you said. I did my stuff a little different when I started off in business because that's before computers. Remember, I had went to a beginner computer class back in '99 when I first got my first little computer. But this is
Mhm.
what I'm sharing with you all. We're going to bring it. We're going to bring our experience. We're going to bring our knowledge, and we're going to come here every first of the month. So mark your calendars.
It's
Get those.
March. It's gonna be the first one is March the 7th. Yes. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be here. I'm gonna be in studio with you on March the 7th.
Yeah, she's gonna be here with me, guys. I'm gonna
Yes.
have to get the red carpet out and everything because this is on. I have to share with
Yeah.
the guests. I had asked the same day that we came up with this. We're partnering to support other women and business
Yes.
owners all over the world. That was the same day that I asked the Most High, whatever name you like to use, God, Jesus,
Mhm.
whatever name you like to use. I said, I would love to collaborate and have a co-host hang out with me sometime. And she inboxed me and said, I have a question. I said, what's the question? And then once I seen how many of us can use, especially myself as well, I'm going to be getting information too and applying it because
Mhm.
every guest that comes on and every leader comes on imparts something in my life, and I take it home and I chew
Mhm.
on it and I do the
Mhm.
best. I'm like, okay, maybe I got to work on this as well.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what the Holy Spirit is going to do up in here
Mhm.
in the
It's gonna be good.
marketplace. It's and he
It's
got
gonna
it.
be good.
God is going to do some great things in the marketplace. Some of us are used in the marketplace and not on the pulpit, which we love our pulpit
Mhm.
sister. But
Mhm.
definitely the marketplace is sometime where you got to get out there with some of the sharks and you got to love
Absolutely.
them and you got to love the
You
hell
don't
out of
love
them.
them anyway. They want it. They don't even know how to do right. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time there was this lady that I was in business with. She was a client of mine, and she like she was not happy, and I was like, you know what, it's okay. Not everybody that you work with or work that you work for is going to be happy. And
Hmm.
so I remember her like backing away, being passive aggressive and backing away, and I was like, no, we're not going to do that. In the city and town that I live in Tennessee, in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, it is a small city, okay? To think that I would never see her again
Hmm.
is crazy. And I
Hmm.
was just like, we're not going to leave this. We can agree to disagree. And we can also, but we can leave as children of the most high God and
Yes.
saying that, and also sisters, when
Yes.
I see you in the street, because I'm going to see you in the street, I want to give you a hug and say hello. I don't want to be trying to hide, try to oh, I didn't even see her. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. I want to be able to see you and give you a hug. And so 3 years later, like maybe like last year, like it was a little bit after the pandemic, I ended up seeing her. But it was like 2 years in the making. And when I saw her, I was able to go over there and give her a hug. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Yes,
so
that's
that
good.
is what I'm talking about. It's like it's the integrity and the character to sometimes stand in when someone wants to be offended and say, I'm not gonna let you leave offended. I'm
Yes.
not gonna let you do it.
That's awesome. Well, we're out. I love how you talk. We'll have you back
Yeah,
on
we'll
March
do it
the
again.
7th. Mark your
Yes,
calendar, 6 o'clock. Time goes so quickly
it
when you're
does.
getting
Yes.
really fun information. Takisha, I'm looking forward to you. Welcome to the WVOL
Yeah,
family.
yeah. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I can't wait till March 7th.
March the
6 o'clock.
7th. Yes, we're excited. 6 o'clock sharp. Mark your calendars. She'll be in here with some more wealth of information. So get ready with your questions. We're going to have a short commercial break. But before the commercial break, I want to tell everyone, I want you to have an amazing week. Remember that unity is where the power is. So remember that you are unity. So where you see that you can help someone or you can be helped, be a part of that unity. Create unity in all your experience this week. I am Robin F. David, inspiring you to embrace, love, and nurture yourself and others. Until next week, guys, we'll see you then. Love you guys. Thank you for being here, and share and like, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Thank you all. Love you. We're going to do some commercials. Okay, we're doing our just a second. We're doing some commercials for All Is Well.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to you once we get, I'm going to turn it off. But I want to say thank you, Facebook viewers. Thank you, YouTube viewers. Don't forget to tune in, share, and like, and make sure your friends and family are here that's in business. Thank you. Oh, okay. I'm going to end this video now so we can talk and chat about our next
Okay.
meeting in March. Good
All
night,
right.
everyone. Thank you for being here.